Okay, welcome everybody to Changing of the Hip Hop Guards podcast. I am your host, the journalist Sincere. It's my partner, Uncle E. And today we have a special guest, none other than Prince Poe from Organized Confusion. Thank you so much. It's
Man,
always
thank you.
great to get with you and build and catch up every few months, and something I want to
sir.
continue to do to check how you doing, because I definitely want to keep up with somebody I very much look up to. So just before we jump into what we're going to talk about, how has Prince Poe been since the last time we talked?
Man, I've been good, man. Just learning and trying to stay out my own way, man. Like it's just been very interesting, It's been a very interesting last couple of months, especially with the lifting of the quarantines and all that stuff. So, I'm rolling with the punches, man. Trying to stay out my own way too.
No doubt. You're in Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, back and forth between here and Orlando and New York.
Very dope. Moving around a bit.
Yeah, New York can get hectic, man. So, it can get hectic.
No doubt. Want to talk a little bit today about technology and moving toward in the future. Since you are in the music business, I want to get your take on, how you'll be releasing your music, what you're thinking about these new platforms. But before we do all that, what are your thoughts on NFTs at the moment?
I think they're dope. I just think that people need to take their time and be careful how they set them up. One of some of my peoples are really like a geek squad for that type of element. So it's like, I just think that people should really have a plan and really, have some bulletins on like, how they're going to handle it for over a certain period of time, like music, whether it's art, whether it's like video clippings. As long as it's original, I heard that it does well. But, you got to get the right team to like administrate that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, they just be jumping in and not really doing their homework, the pros and cons. What ifs, me and Monch always like play each other. When they say devil's advocate, we just say, double up checking, like, but what if this or what if that? So, I just think that once they got a plan, they got some good material. I think it's dope. It's opened up a lot of doors. It's a good element. You just gotta be careful anything you jump into. So I think it's dope. But after a while, I think that it's gonna become lackluster. The same way with making records. You know what I'm saying? Like, the quality of what you're doing, is supposed to speak for itself. So a lot of times people be like, oh, let's just try to get this money and we can sell it for this many Bitcoins. I'm like, that's all good, but what are you trying to sell? Like, what is it? How does it resonate with people? And how does it have shelf life to it? Like, what is it like, you're releasing new stuff and, popping up videos out of the ordinary. Like, everybody's just on the rush to be like, here's my content. Here's my videos. Here's, instead of like kind of spoon feeding and letting things build. So, that part of the game is kind of going to shit. So, I mean, I think it's dope, but I'd be like,
Yeah. I feel the same. What's funny? I guess when it pretty much started, they were doing it more with like art, right? Like a drawing or some kind of art.
Right.
It didn't make sense to me because I was just like, why do I want to have something that all I could do is look at it on my computer or my phone, or like, it didn't make sense. Now, when I saw that they kind of started doing like songs or albums and selling them as an NFT, and then I saw that, like, for example, if I purchased your album as an NFT, and then I had the capability of selling that forward, and you still get percentage. See, then that made sense to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I could see that. There's really no different as far as purchasing an album digitally, as we do now sometimes, and getting it as an NFT. And, that made a little more sense to me than just selling a piece of art that, I don't know.
I think that if you're gonna do art, it should come with music, and if you're gonna do music, it should come with art. I just think that it should be more than one element when it comes to an NFT to make it even more of an original piece. You know what I mean? Like, you might have some videos where you're in all black and you put neon paint on your arms, and you do an animated video and you look all crazy, and then you got artwork with it, and then you got dope songs. I think that that's what makes it a more wholesome piece to sell as an NFT. I just think that everybody's just so quick to get rich and don't realize that once you crack that levee, your life changes. Like, you could become real famous, and I don't know, sometimes people want to be famous, but they don't understand what come with it.
Right.
There's a lot that come with it. Like I'll be like, damn, Jay-Z can't buy his own lamb chop. Like, he has to send somebody to buy his lamb chop, and I don't know if everybody's ready for that type of fame. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where, you don't have no private time. You don't have no no real serene stroll in the supermarket. Like, oh, look at this rosemary garlic bread. Like, Jay can't do that. No way. No way. People going like, he can't even hear himself. Like, so, I think some of the NFTs are cool. When I first saw them, it was artwork, and it was like a lot of wealthy people, like kind of like leasing it for a month and like paying people like a lot of money, like 40, 50,000 to have it for a month. And I mean, I thought that was cool because, it's like, sort of like, if you got money, being a part of something that you feel is creative and you're willing to spend the money, I don't see nothing wrong with that. But, where it's going now is just a whole lot of different narratives. And, I think quality makes a big difference, and content. Like, it just shouldn't be music. Like, animated, like, what I'm saying? Something that people can feel they're getting the whole package of your creativity. So I mean, that's a dope concept. So in other words, like if you were to put out an album and sell it as an NFT, you can do, like how we would get the inserts in the CDs, maybe make like some kind of visual, right?
A visual insert type of thing that's animated or something,
right? Entertain people to the fullest. You know what I mean? Not just the listening to the music, but like visuals. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't even know what I'm gonna do with my next records. I'm just gonna finish and see what's happening at that time, because it's always evolving into something different. Next at the end of the year it might be FTNs. I don't know. Like,
right.
So, I just know, like, I do stuff step by step. I want to make sure the material is good and that the songs are going to resonate. And I want people to be like, yo, he must have really been with me this last year in my life, because that's exactly what I've been experiencing. I wanted to be more personal. So,
yeah. So, Paul, I want to ask you, being, we're talking about the music and putting them out, through NFTs and all that. What do you think about how Kanye put out his last album and sold it on his own, what do you call it? Like his own stem player.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what makes it make sense for him is because he has that platform already. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's put a massive amount of work in, and, producer, artist, he's always ranting and raving, seeking attention. He's a very emotional dude about his craft. You know what I mean? I think it's good for him. I think that when people see people like him do that, and they're like, if Kanye could do it, I could do it. But you're not Kanye. You're not Kanye, and you haven't been in the news. You're not one of the top. You're not one of the top 3 billionaires of hip hop. It's just a lot of things that play a part of that. When you have that platform, I think is great, because you don't need a label. You can just sell. Even if Kanye sold 400,000, units of that, he's great. You know what I'm saying? It's good for that. I just think that people need to build their relationships with the internet world. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you should always send multiple messages. I think sometimes you need to hit people personally and make certain things personal. They're always saying, yo, y'all, a lot of times when people try to group me like that, I'm gonna be honest, I find it kind of uninteresting. So I just think that people need to build that, and I think people need to slow down and have patience and build their platform. You know what I'm saying? And I think that many people could do that. Kanye is a disturbed genius.
Right,
You know,
right.
he's disturbed by a lot of things. He cares about what people think about him. He's very compassionate about his work. He's talented. He wants to be acknowledged as one of the greatest. And you know, at times I think that, you know, I think he missed his mom, man. I think his mom was like one of his best friends, and I think that since then he's just been all over the place. But definitely was beneficial for him, and it will benefit him in the future. You know, and plus, like, you know, he put in the work with the choir and did these concerts, you know, with inspiring people. And in this world right now, we need it. Like, it's just so much chaos and mayhem and like fickle news and fickle information. Do this, do that. People told me, oh, you need to take the virus. I mean, you need to take the needle, because I'm like, what are you, a doctor, man? Last time I checked, he's a cook, a rapper. Like, you know,
right.
Mad at, yo, man, Trump is, I'm like, he's a realtor. Well, how mad can you get? Like, they chose a realtor to run the country. So, yo, Trump is crazy. He can be as crazy as you want. But, you know, if it comes to selling a building or property, he's great. But running the country, why would I expect him to run a country well when he's a realtor?
Right.
So, it's like people get worked up. People is moving too fast. People don't want to embrace the process of building their platform. So I think that Kanye spent so much time putting in work and producing. I think it was great for him. He don't really have to use a label no more. He is his own entity.
Yeah.
And as long as he stays slightly controversial, people are always going to keep checking for him.
Right.
People are addicted to controversy. You heard what happened? I'd be like, no, I didn't. What is it? You know what I'm saying?
Right. On the same subject of music being put out through STEM players and things like that, what are you thinking about Black Star and their Luminary, where they're releasing their latest album? Do you think that's going to help or hurt them now that people have to go to a certain site to purchase their music instead of being widely available?
They have an exceptional fan base. You know, they have working people who got jobs and possibly now, you know, children that's like in their late teens. You know, they got a different fan base. And I think that, you know, they're taking a chance. I just think that it's dope. You got to take chances to see what can happen. I mean, nothing is guaranteed. So I think that's dope, that what they're doing, but they got like a core following. And it's a very eclectic, exceptional fan base. Like they like lyrics and styling and, you know, and subject matter, you know. So it could work for them. I mean, it can not do good. It just depends on what machine is helping them or how strong their machine is. Because now it's just all about these machines. You know, people be online, they'd be like, yo, you didn't see my post. I'd be like, you're not in my algorithm. They'd be like, but you don't understand. I'm like, you don't understand. You sitting here trying to think you control your page. You don't control shit.
Right.
No, nothing. But how you break the algorithms is just like, you know, having patterns of being consistent. You know, on Friday, I'm like, let me check out Journalist Steer. Let me check out Uncle E every Friday. And I check in again with them on Tuesday. And you keep doing that, then we'll be in each other's algorithm and I'll see more of your posts. Like, people just think that they can just go online and post it. Like, everybody's seen it. And I tell people all the time, when you're on Facebook, like, you got 5,000 friends. You never had a 5,000 likes post. Never. You've been on Facebook for 12 years and you never had 3,000 people like your shit. You think everybody sees it. Japan is not on our timeline. Indonesia is not on our timeline. So, you know, even when people pay Facebook these promotional ads, all they do is just release the algorithm so that you guys is in Cambodia, and when y'all log on, y'all get to see my shit. They ain't adding nobody. They're just opening what's already there. You know what I'm saying? So people got to start being more real with themselves. Like, yo, you didn't see my party? No, I didn't. No, I didn't, and I'm not living online. I gotta actually wash my ass and do food and shit. Like, I do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I do shit like eat food and, you know, and go pick up vitamins, and I do stuff. I do human stuff. So I'm sorry that I don't just live online. And the thing is, like I said, they're making billions now. It's different.
Right.
So there's so many ways you could crack it. I think that if Black Star has, online promotion team and a publicist who's actually savvy online, and I think that if they have like a real in-depth plan, I think it can work for them because they have that type of core fan base, and it's just as long as they make it interesting for that fan base, they're gonna tap in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna tap in. It's not like they started yesterday either. That's what I'm saying. Like all these artists y'all naming, they done put a lot of work in to where like even the young people, you can't count them out, man. They curious, they smart, they intelligent. So what? They listen to trap and drill and trill. A lot of them are very intelligent. And if you allow them the chance to come into your world and remove that stigma of that generation gap bullshit that I think a lot of agents is fucking infiltrating, because all it takes is one person to say, oh, the young people call us old heads. Nah, bro, they call you old head. I'm not old. My pops is 88. He's old. You see what I'm saying? But I try to mend the stereotypes. Like I try to mend over the stereotypes because you definitely got to tap into the new age people. A lot of them are intelligent. They want to hear new shit. They want to hear dope lyrics. Don't count them out. Like there's a lot of them. I'm starting to get like 20-something-year-old fans. I'm like, how do you know about the music? And they're like, either my brother put me on, or I was just going online and asking about lyricists and all this other stuff. And I started listening. You got to give them a chance. So I think that Black Star will do good because I think they'll probably pick up more fans on a younger level. Like, I think that'll be dope if they go that route. So, I don't think it could backfire, but so bad, what I'm saying? They might not reach the level that they expect to reach their goals and shit, but I think they're going to be all right.
Does any of this interest you, or are you more into the traditional way of, physical copies, hand-to-hand stores? What's Prince Poe thinking as far as your future product?
I think it's always good to try something new. I think that the classic way, you could tap into that a little bit, but like right now, like the way I'm doing my stuff, like I just got the masters back for me and Old No's album, Animal Serum. So, I'm just trying to, take my time to see what will be suitable, what could be lucrative, what'll make sense, what'll reach a lot of people, because, it's always a new narrative. Next week is something new, you know what I mean? So I just want to wait till I gather enough information and enough material to try to sit down and see what different directions I can go. I don't really stress it. I'm learning how to like move in grace, kind of saying like, because if it's good material, it's gonna resonate, and and I'm blessed because people are waiting. So I'm just grateful for that, man. Like I don't try to overthink shit no more, man, because there's not enough time in the day. People be like, yo, so what you gonna do about that? I'm like, bro, I'm worried about tomorrow. I'm not worried about that shit next weekend. Like, right. and rushing the process. So I think that one people like, oh man, you hear what he said? And then, how can I represent that in a creative way, whether it's animation, or however, the direction. I'm just open right now to all this stuff that's happening because everybody could be doing NFTs now. Excuse me. And then like July, here comes this new shit called the N9N. You're like, what's that? Like NFTs plus this, plus that. And you get free videos. I'm like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just more open to see where it's going and how I can manipulate the different variations in a good way. You know what I'm saying? I just want to reach more people. You know what I'm saying? And even now, like young people like, yo, what's the name of your group again? I'm like, Organized Confusion. I'm going to tell you like I'm a brand new artist. I don't give a shit about that ego shit. None of that shit. I'll be like, new dude to you. You know what I'm saying? You don't know me. I'm not supposed, you don't know me, son? I'll be, I hate when people do that shit. Yeah. If I'm in a club and I stand next to an artist that do that shit, you'll turn and be like, I'm gone on some ninja shit. I don't really fuck with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll be on some ninjas like, yo, he was just right over there by the bar. I'm gone, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's somebody. So, you know, I'd rather people be curious and you talk to them like you want them to know instead of they should know. Because when you talk to people like they should know, they get offended.
Yeah.
Why the fuck should I know that? Like, nah. So, you know, I try to keep it where it's like a mutual respect. Like I said, I don't know. We're working on new organized stuff. I'm waiting for Mons to send me a batch of beats now. He be on the low making some shit. So I'm like, yo, bro, hit me off, bro. Like, you know, and he's promoting his 13 rock group. And so we just trying to, you know, just stay up to date. You know, and I salute everybody that's trying these new platforms. I just hope that people are not rushing the process and really understand the pros and cons and how to take full advantage of it instead of thinking, you know, instead of talking to people and being inside these clubhouse rooms and these Twitter meetings to learn exactly what you're dealing with. Like everybody just wants instant gratification. Nobody wants to do homework and teach themselves, you know. It's about knowing exactly what you're doing, like, you know, not just getting help to do it, but knowing the process.
With the, you know, when we got hit with the pandemic and everything, and like you were just saying before, how things are sort of opening up again. How have you kept yourself, you know, inspired to make music or to write? You know what I mean? Being that you're not able, you know, haven't been able to really move how you probably normally would. Where do you draw inspiration from?
Well, one, I had to go back to like not just self-awareness, but self-help. I mean, self-health. Like I had to make sure I was okay as a human, as a person. And like, you know, when it first hit, I was watching the news, you know, with because when it first hit, what's the name? Biden and Trump was going at it, and it's time for a reset. Like, you know, I started getting anxiety attacks. You know, I'm trying to keep up with the news. I'm like, man, this dude's gonna get out of here. You know, I'm not getting so wrapped up, but I was trying to keep up with the everyday narratives that once was, which was like, oh, go to bed about 11, 12, 1, get up in the morning, have some juice and stuff. That was out the window. I had to let that go. I had to let go that you're supposed to eat eggs and turkey sausages and pancakes in the morning. I was like, let all that shit go. Let all the narratives of life go. And I reset. I had to reset as a person. Like, I was like, yo, this shit is real. Like, I don't want to go nowhere. I'm not going to no clubs. I'm not going out like that. I went out and I did a lot of walking in the sun. And there was I was in Colorado and there was like a lake behind the place I was at. And I would just like walk halfway around the lake, you know, and I actually walk and spent time with myself. Like, you know, and I had to reestablish on that, keeping myself company. You know, like my man was like, yo, how you sleep last night? I said, bro, I've been up all night. And I let it all go. I stopped worried about when I'm gonna go to sleep. I watch TV all night, watch dope movies and nice series that was interested, and I would just go to sleep whenever it hit me. I let go of all narratives. I was like, you don't have to go to bed at 10 o'clock at night. You don't have to eat eggs and sausage in the morning. I was like, let go of all that shit. And I had to reset as a person. So now after I reset, now I'm on my time in this new age of quarantine and the virus. Like, you know, the radio is like, oh, there's a supermarket. 8 people today got tested positive in the supermarket. And I'm just like, I had to get away from all that shit. I had to worry about like self-preservation. I had to worry about like juicing more. I always balance out my meals, make sure I have vegetables. I was exercising. I was just trying to get more in tune with myself and knowing how to keep myself company and learning how to enjoy my homie because he was going through it. You know what I'm saying? He's working from home. He got a great job, but they was able to do a lot of Zoom calls. And I would just like, you know, just build with him and just really know how to enjoy basic company. You know what I'm saying? And it took some months to get used to, but it put me in a better place because that shit had me like anxiety out the wazoo, man. Like it was just too much going through my head. And I think that's why a lot of people are going crazy now because they've been in their head so much Like they're just being zany, even the shit they say to you. Like, what did you just say to me?
Yeah.
You know, and you gotta just absorb it, because people being in their own space and not knowing how to keep themselves company, it started becoming erratic. It started overthinking things. You know, if you got an idea, you know, you write it down. You don't keep it in your head, because now 2 days later you're like, nah, I'm gonna add a rhino to the picture. You know, you bugging out. You all over the place because you're not giving yourself a format. So I learned to just write stuff down, and I started writing. And I would be like, okay, if I get 4 lines done, put it down, go get some juice, take a walk, come back, you know, go get a bottle of tequila, you know, just chill. And where I was at, it was a blessing, because they were scared shit out in Colorado. They was like, nobody on the street at 10 o'clock at night. Them motherfuckers listen. I went to the store one night to get some wraps to smoke some weed, and I was the only motherfucker on the street. Like literally, it's like a 7-block walk to this one store that I wanted to patronize this guy because he was mad cool. And I was walking there, and it's like, yo, if somebody snatched me up, I gotta put the bees on them and get up out of here. Like, there's no one out on the street. There's like 1 or 2 cars driving by. Like, people really isolated themselves. So I was like, okay, this is the last time I'm going to the store at 10:30 at night. You know, I don't live out here. You know, so just learning how to be with myself and learning how to process my thoughts, slowing down the process, not speeding. So I started writing stuff, and I'll write like 4 lines, and then I'll put it down. You know, throw some chicken in the oven and bake it. I just started living. You know what I'm saying? Making rhyme a part of my self company. And with my man, shout out to P Crates, you know what I'm saying? And another thing too that helped, P Crates got about 75 crates of records in the crib. So waking up every morning and seeing all these records, and he's like, being around hip hop and some of the elements helped out a lot. You know, being reminded, Griselda stuff came out. He had about 25 copies of their shit coming. I'm like, yo, why you order so much? He said, I just want to have it. I don't know if this is going to be a collector's item or not. These dudes is dope. So I got 25 of them. I was like, damn, that's dope. So just being around that element helped a lot too. Just being where I belong. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
Very dope. Earlier in the conversation, you mentioned Bitcoin. Has Prince Poe dove into that cryptocurrency, or what are your thoughts on?
A little bit. I made a couple of dollars. I know people that really did good. Shout out to Sister Asia. She just bought a dope house and it got a dope car from that shit, like Bitcoin mining and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you focus on something and you really get into it, I think it could be lucrative. I just dabble in it. You know, maybe I need to learn more about it, but I just dabble in it. You know, I get my little couple of dollars. It goes up and down. But I think I'm going to slowly get into it more as I see what kind of changes it take. Bitcoin, Litecoin, you know, just Ethereums, you know, excuse me. I want to know what I'm dealing with. But I invested a little bit of money and then made a little bit more. You know, I'm a type person, I go to Vegas and I spend $200 and I win $1,000. You can't tell me I'm not rich. I don't give a fuck. I came up like I'm not a gambler, you know. So I have fun doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I put in like 300 and I make 1,200, I'm good with that. Like that's not my major field of study. You know what I'm saying? So I dabble in it, I take chances, but I see a lot of people. What's really interesting in New York City, you see a lot of people under the age of 18 diving in that shit. Like, yo, these little young boys be 14 and 15 years old going to the stores with the Bitcoin machine with like 900, 1,000, 1,500. They are playing. And to me, that's kind of inspiring, you know, to see them turn themselves into young entrepreneurs. They don't even know it.
Right.
It's interesting because they just want to make money, but they're being smart about it. They're learning. So I think that's dope. But like in a lot of bodegas, man, you'll see like a little young kid, like 14 years old, coming in and pull a wad of money out. I'm like, wow, like he's putting the money in the machine and, you know. So it's interesting. You know, I think that's very inspiring. So I dabble in it, but that's not like one of my main sources of income. I'm about to get into the licensing mechanical thing still, and fortunately, a lot of music from the 90s is becoming very popular in a lot of movies and a lot of visuals because of the conviction of the music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got a movie where these dudes is going to chase another gang that owe them money. They're not going to be like, flip it, turn. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. They want something that's like, yo, get them, go. You know, they want that energy. They want that South Side from Organized. They want that MOP. They want that, you know, they want music. So like, they're not always doing. I mean, trust me, I like a lot of the new dudes. Like I like Lil Baby. I like him. I like him because of some of the stuff he says, but I like his demeanor of what he stands for. You know what I'm saying? Like he be like, my grandmama, my uncle told me I gotta pay taxes. I don't know shit about taxes, but I'm gonna pay the motherfucker. Like,
right.
I like the young wave that is open to interacting and building with us. Like, y'all are not the first ones that got bread. Like, you know, I used to hang out with Jalil. I'm like, damn, this nigga's rich. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So you know, it's a trickle down theory. So yeah, I might dabble in it more in the future. Like I have like some money I want to play with that I don't mind losing because when I gamble, man, I gamble to say fuck it, I lost it. Like, it is what it is. I'm not getting mad and cursing everybody out all week. You took a chance, you lost. That's it.
Right.
So like yo, you couldn't spend it. Why did you do it in the first place? Maybe you should have did 500 instead of 1,000.
Yeah, I never thought about cats making music now that are not thinking like, damn, you know, my song, maybe I could get placed in a movie or something.
Right.
I never thought about that, man.
Like, yeah, you up here coming to get it, turn it, pop it. Niggas is like, I'm.
Yeah, you can't have no kind of like chase.
But they want that grimy, they want that grimy rough shit. Like, yo, and they want people who's watching the movie to be like, oh shit, it's going down. They want the excitement. They want the apex of the movie to be described in music. So you know, I always think about that. Like I was going for commercial modeling at one point, right? And I went to this audition, and lady was like, "You got a real good look," blah blah blah. So she explained to me why certain looks is for certain things, and she says like, yo, you just missed a Cadillac commercial. She was like, you look like you could be distinctive and young. She was like, we can't put Lil Wayne in a Cadillac commercial. It's not believable. He got tats on his face. You know, he got dress. He's just
right.
People who's into Cadillacs gonna be like, Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
he's not a great prospect for image of selling a Cadillac. So I got what she was saying. Not that he can't sell a Viper or you know what I'm saying. Like it could be something. What's them 3-wheel vehicles called?
Oh yeah, I don't...
Spider.
Lil Wayne being an ad for a Spider, it fits more. Yeah. It's more believable. But you put him in a Cadillac CTS turbo on some fucking fly shit, they're gonna be like, I don't believe you. I don't want no fucking Cadillac. You know what I'm saying? It's not a believable ad. So I got what she was saying. So you know, it's the same thing with the music, man. It gotta fit. It gotta fit, you know, the visuals and I just be hoping I get picked up for more stuff. We had a few soundtracks that was really good. So
when you make music now though, do you keep that like in mind or somewhere in the back of your mind, like, you know, trying to make something that if somebody hears it, or it might hit this commercial or it might hit this movie or TV series? Do you make music with that in mind sometimes? Well,
sometimes, but not a lot. Not a lot. Like because of what's going on, I did a song about mental health. And the way I did it was more street. I was saying like the homies keep telling them that it'll be okay. Like the homies keep telling them it'll be okay. Cause they're like, oh nigga, chill out, it'll be okay. And they're not hearing that this dude got issues and he needs to be helped. He needs to be listened to. So I try to do it from a street version of it. Like, yo, he's hanging out with the homies. They're into like being famous and being popular online. This dude is saying wild shit. He's arguing with everybody, you know, and yo, he got some issues that need to be addressed. You know, he needs therapy. He might need like herbal medicine, but there's a lot of mental health issues in our neighborhoods. Like, it's bad. Like, and it's not just coming from the service. It's, you know, PTSD is a lot. Just, you know, being in a constricted environment, as they say, so-called hood. People coming home from the service different. The peer pressure of people being online and looking at the finer things that other people have, and they start to get into this place of depression. And the reason why it's so easy for them to do that is because they're not seeing the process of how that person got there. Nobody heard Busta Rhymes say he's been working on that album for 12 years. Everybody's like, oh my God, he's the best who ever done it. Yeah, but look how hard he worked. Y'all missed that whole point. 12 years he's been working on that material. That means he's been processing real life stuff, death, friends going through it, setbacks, dilemmas, business dilemmas. He was living his life, you know what I'm saying? And he finally had a plan. The same way, you know, he had the ads in 42nd Street, Times Square, same weekend that he did the TV show, I think Jimmy Fallon or something like that, the same weekend that the album dropped. You have to align these things. You have to plan, and you have to be patient in doing that. Everybody's in a rush to be noticed now. Everybody.
Yeah, since you touched on that, right? Just like you said, Busta came out with this whole rollout. I mean, it was like what we used to see, right, years ago, as far as the campaign, the ads, like you said, TV show, all that stuff he did.
Yeah.
Now, in this time, right, where something comes out right now, it's forgotten about tomorrow.
Right.
There's so much stuff coming out so fast, and things are not being processed the way they were, right? So that's a perfect example with Busta, all that work, all that time, energy, money, and I feel that it's like it came and went. I mean, you know, somebody like us, of course, we go back and listen to it, but you don't really hear anybody talking about it anymore.
The lifespan on records now is short. It's almost short like as a fingernail. So
yeah. So what, you know, again, now I guess my question is, Joe, what do you think about, is it worth doing such an elaborate campaign like what Busta did, for example? Or, you know, what's your take on that?
I just think that a lot of people, they move too fast. I see a lot of artists, they'll put the record out and be like, video's coming next week. You see what I'm saying? You should have waited till the video was done. You should have waited. I hear a lot of people say, yo, can you get the verse to me by like the first week of next month? Because I want to drop this on my birthday. And I'm like, but is everything set up by the time your birthday comes? If I can get Stevie Wonder, Black Thought, and Bust on a song, and I gotta wait till next January, God damn it, I'm gonna wait till January. I don't give a fuck about no date. And that's the problem with people. Everybody's so anxious to be acknowledged, so anxious to be noticed, that a lot of times a lot of elements is not set up correctly. The album will drop, and then the video don't come out for 2 weeks later, and people lose interest. People don't remember shit no more. You know what I'm saying? The shock value of having videos, the album is out, ads, clips, you know, all that, you get to keep a person's attention for a little longer. You know, we're in a time now where you be on your phone and somebody's coming to meet you and you'll be like, yeah, man, so we're going to get the deal. It's going to be 100,000. And people walk right up to you and be like, yo, journalist still, what's good, man? Like, I'm like, you see the motherfucker on the phone? Like, that's how rushy people are.
Right.
Even like with posts, you know, they don't read the post well. They just quick to be like, I want people to see that I'm smart. I'd be like, you didn't say shit compared to when I posted. But I'm gonna let you rock because, you know, again, you want the gratification and you want it bad. You know, I said one time, like, it'll be dope if LL Cool J, Scarface, Jalil from Houdini was the A&Rs of the new age, even trying to put new artists on. Dude comes to my page, he's like, man, they gotta stop taking their money and buying chains and spending up their advancements. I was like, the fuck? That ain't got nothing to do with imagine some of the OGs being able to have some influence on the new music. That's all I said. Just have an imagination. Dude is like, yo, we gotta be more better with our money. I was like, the fuck, man. And that's the world we in now. People don't respond to understand. I mean, you know, people don't listen to understand. People listen to respond. You ain't even finished saying what you're saying, and people be like, yo, so, and another thing too, I'd be like, yo, Uncle E didn't finish, bro. Like, let him finish.
Right.
Damn, you don't even add on. You don't even know how he's gonna end this. Like, you know? So the rushy process is what messes a lot of artists up. I think people need to plan more properly when they put their material out, because it's not so much about how much money you can make. It's about your story being told the exact way you want your story to be told, and how many people can you get or you around that can relate to your story. The money will come. But when Lil Wayne said, I made it to the top and I ain't jumped yet, mad artist is gonna be like, yup, I'm successful, and I'm surprised I didn't lose it, because this shit is crazy. People can relate to that. And that's what's important. It's like not just trying to get out and make a lot of money. You know, money is easy to be made. They got, you know, Amazon made fucking $2 billion in 2 days. Like, the money's there, but like, what about the quality, and what about resonating with the fans and the connoisseurs of the music?
Right.
So that's why Busta waited. He was like, yup, I got a dope idea. I'm gonna put MOP in the second video. I was like, this shit is fire.
Yeah,
it was a plan. It took some time to do that. Now, if Busta wanted to give that album more life, all he had to do is put out another crazy video. That's all. He don't have to do ads and stuff like that no more. He already set up that way, but he was like, I don't have to. My shit did good already. So, you know, he fell back, but he could have been like, do another record from the album, and this time I'm gonna shoot the video on a fucking rowboat in the middle of the water with Skipper from Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
You know, and people would have respected it because it's a different idea from the first one. But he could have gave that album more life, but he felt he did enough. I think he felt he did enough. But if he'd have put out 2 or 3 more videos, it'd have had more shelf life. But I think people still checking for Bus.
Right.
Yeah.
Earlier this year, we had the opportunity to help promote Brother Jay's virtual pay-per-view performance featuring Public Enemy, a few other artists. What are your thoughts on virtual performances going as pay-per-views?
I think it's dope because, one, people ain't got to dress up and go nowhere. 2, it gives people, I think it gives the artists a chance to really expose themselves in a very surreal form, because it's like you hear about it, you be like, oh, Public Enemy and Brother Jay, you gotta be a certain type of person or people to want to tap into that, and you ain't got to worry about like, yo, you into that militant shit. You know, everybody always is ready to say some negative shit. Everybody's premeditatedly mad and shit. Like, oh, you still listen to that shit? Like, you know, I'm like, bro, I listen to what I listen to. Stop getting mad. You know, it's just everything is so personal with people, but I think it's dope. I think Brother Jay is dope. I think his voice is one of the greatest voices in hip hop.
Absolutely.
And I remember that era very vividly. And when that era started getting strong, all of a sudden the narrative changed from an executive standpoint. You know what I'm saying? And shit changed up, and
right.
We getting too close again.
Right.
Yeah.
Getting too close together. It's getting different.
Yeah.
Right.
Next, you know, it's like kill, murder, all that. Fuck your man, your bitch, kick you in the stomach. I'm like,
exactly.
And then Houdini was like, Freaks come out at night. People was like, ah, man, I can't wait to fucking go to the concert. Them niggas had a party at every show they did. They made every show a party, and people enjoyed themselves. People felt good about themselves. I don't think that the energy resonates long when you just talking about killing. It just shows that you're angry, and that's an emotion that you need to know how to control. Because I know a lot of young boys that's in jail now. Like, I shouldn't have did that shit. A lot of times they don't know that is a bad thing until they're already committed to it. It's more personal when you stab somebody. It's more like you're angry and you're in your emotions when you shoot somebody. It's not as personal.
Right.
And you watch First 48 all the time. You see kids be like, yeah. I'll be like, you can't fucking cry if you're carrying a gun.
Yeah, right.
What fucking part of the game is that? You committed to that type of life, and the same way you can get $10,000 a day. All my friends that hustle was like, I can go to jail for 5 years. Right now, I got this Benz and I get this $10,000 a day. They know what the other side of the narrative is. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. Like, it's different. I mean, I'm sad that a lot of these young artists die. Like, they got children. I was really hurt by King Von shit. Like, I heard him say something like, yo, we got to get together. And he was talking sort of like unity. The boy bought like $100,000 worth of bikes for the kids in the neighborhood who couldn't afford it. I'm like, that shit hurt my heart when you took that type of element away from the new wave. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like life is not valuable to a lot of the young wave, and I feel bad about that.
Right.
So, I'm at this point where it's like, I try to connect with a lot of them, and unlike other people, they say you can't talk to them. Yes, you can. You just got to know how to talk to them. First of all, you talk to them with respect. Then you talk to them with assertiveness. Like, this ain't no bitch ass shit. Like, I respect you, but I'm a grown ass man. Like, let's talk.
Right.
So.
We like I said, they're talking
Shout out
about
to Brother J though. You know what I'm saying? That's my dude. Like,
no
his
doubt.
voice is like,
oh yeah,
step into the veggie. Him and Scarface is like,
yeah.
No
they're
doubt.
like street preachers.
Like I said, we've been talking about technology this whole episode. Your first 2 albums recently hit streaming platforms. How has that changed? What are you feeling? Anything from those recently becoming streaming on platforms at the moment?
All the core fans, all the new fans, all the the new wave of kids that might be tapped in. Like, I got this producer now who's like 25 years old. This dude knows all my music. He got dope beats. He makes trap stuff. He makes hardcore beats. Like, he's right in the middle, and he's really dope. So, I'm riding the wave, man. Like, I'm riding the wave, and I'm just trying to do it in a way where I use some of the old tactics and I use some of the new tactics. Yeah, I like the streaming. I think it's dope, but I think more so I'm really feeling it because we're more in control of it. Me hearing about people getting pennies on the stream, that shit is like horrible to me. That's horrible to me. Like, I just think that how can you be that greedy? Like, how can you use somebody's music and use them and not at least make sure they got some bread?
Right.
So we search for a more solid outlet so that we can benefit and also share with people. You know what I'm saying? So we was thinking about doing a video for Straight Bullet. I don't know like what's gonna happen, but we it came out years ago, but we still could do a video. So it's like that's what this whole new wave is doing, is like you can refurbish stuff and make it fresh if you're creative. And that's what I like about it.
Right.
I think that's a dope. Somebody else said something like that recently where they had like an old, like a song that came out years ago and they did like a new video for it recently. I think that's a dope concept that I never really, heard anybody talk about really.
Right.
If you had something that came out like 94, 95 even, and you come out and put a ill video to it now, that's totally brand new to somebody that never heard that song before.
That's right. And it's dope for the young people and it's dope for us.
Yeah.
Because y'all knew the music, y'all say, wow, it's visuals for that. So you knowing the song and watching the videos, That's energy right there. That's like, oh shit. You know?
And there's tons of music out there that us as fans, we would hear, like you just said, you put out your album and there's a song that we enjoyed and we're like, damn, how come they never put a video out to that? You know what I mean? Like there's tons of songs out there like that never got a video that should have.
Right.
Or at least it would have been dope if it did. So that's a cool concept, man. I'm looking forward to seeing.
We got that in the works, talking about that. But even with that, we want to make it so ill. You know what I'm saying? Like with the visuals now, you know what I'm saying? We want to make that ill. So, but the streaming's been good, man. Cool. I'm thankful. It gave us an outlet to reach more people, to make more money, you know, but more so to share the music, because people's like, yo, y'all was in the form of a bullet. Word. Yo, y'all got that from Nas? I'm like, nah.
His was 96. You guys was way before that.
Yeah. But you know what though? We were the babies of influence. Like, you know, if you listen to the funk, R&B, and soul, a lot of people remade other people's songs.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a form of paying homage. So when Nas did it, we felt the same way. Like, that's dope. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to mention our name or shout the group out, but just doing it is an honor. Is paying homage.
No doubt. Thank you so much, Prince Poe, for joining us on this technology and moving forward episode. We got one more question for you. Hip hop is about to turn 50. We're about to get that museum in the Bronx. I'll let Uncle E finish that question.
Yeah, so you know, like he's just said, hip hop's getting ready to turn 50 years old soon. You know, you've been around for a minute. We were talking about how you being around the elements kind of helped you out during that time, right? What's your thoughts on it turning 50?
I just think that we got to stop letting the narratives shortchange us on this culture. It's the only culture that has not been accepted in the beginning. It was very eclectic, what they call underground. It was for the people that was in restricted areas, the ghetto, the hood, and it was our way of telling our story, and we listened to our and I think that it's turning 50. I think it's a wonderful thing. I think that we just got to be careful of the narratives that they use, and you an old head. Like, bro, listen, Willie Nelson is still dope. KRS-One is still dope. He's older than you, but he'll burn you on the stage. He's incredible when it comes to shows. So it's like we just got to stop letting the negative narratives. And I think it's agents out there just saying stuff, and people just so much gophers, they pick up on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Red Alert is one of my favorite DJs. You know, period. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, he's one of my favorite DJs, but he's this old. Like, what that got to do with it? Like, we got to stop allowing these negative narratives to kind of conform this culture. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it going into 50 is proving that, we made it through. Like, it's crazy that nobody wanted to hear hip hop, and I remember that era. And then now the whole world is influenced by it. Every time you look at a sitcom on TV, oh, I know how to rap. I sound like Luminary. All sort of shit. You know what I'm saying? The same people that didn't want to hear this shit is the same people that's now trying to be like, oh, I got swag. You know, I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? I think that the whole hip hop community should be getting paid billions of dollars from the world using our shit when they didn't want to even fuck with it in the beginning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And this culture is what's keeping us young, is what's keeping us informative, is what's keeping us in our element with our swag, the funk, the soul, the dance, the graffiti. I just think that this has no age limit to it. You know what I'm saying? This has no age limit to it. Kool Herc is one of the most healthiest looking persons in ever. Look like he could pound mad people out. And he's older than mad people. I be looking at young dudes like, I don't think you should.
It's like you seen Melly Mel lately, bro?
Oh, Melly Mel's always been a beast.
That's like, what the hell?
He's always been a beast. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that is a wonderful thing. We celebrating a great movement. It has grown. It has evolved into something incredible that's worldwide, international. It has allowed us to be in Japan as early as 91. And it has opened doors for a lot of people that didn't know where their direction was going. So it was a blessing in many ways. And I think that early in the days, Japan was not so much just enjoying the music. I think they was trying to learn the culture. That's what made that so dope, is that they were paying to learn. It was in school. They was like, we don't understand shit you're saying until you be like, everybody say ho. They'd be like, ho.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they was learning. A lot of countries learn how to speak English through hip-hop. Hip-hop is very educational. Like, I don't want nobody to depreciate the value, and that's why we made it 50 years, because it's so influential in so many different ways. You know, from you guys having interviews, because without you guys, nobody gets to have the identity of the artist. So the blogs, the interviews, the magazine ads, all that is a part of the culture, because people can listen to your music and think that you're just a killer. But then when you're like, yo, man, I like
get to know the person.
Ice cream. I like Madagascar vanilla bean ice cream. People are like, oh, he's normal.
Right.
And y'all give people that platform. You know, I'm saying like mad little different interesting things behind both of y'all background. And it reminded me of Bismarck. Bismarck was one of the his toy collection is so crazy. I'm talking about black G.I. Joes. I'm talking about he got shit that cost thousands of dollars. He had mad toys. And that was his side thing. You know what I'm saying? That was his thing. So I think that hip hop is a wonderful thing. You know, happy anniversary, 50 years. I hope it go another 50 years. And it got to tell the story of the unheard. All the people that was unheard now can be heard because of this culture. So I salute hip hop and everybody from y'all, the informatives of the information station, as I was saying, and the graph writers, the DJs, which is the epicenter, the MCs who be clever and creative, but also like the dancers and the connoisseurs who are just like, no, this shit over here came out in '94. Like, you know, and it resonated and it made people get through a lot of things. A lot of people made it through college. A lot of people made it through getting out of jail. You know, a lot of positive things came out. So we deserve another 50. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, on behalf of myself and Sincere, man, we just want to say thank you to you. You know what I mean, for doing all you have done in hip hop and providing us with great music, soundtracks to our lives, man. Because you know, this is what keeps us going, man. So thank you to you.
Yo, I appreciate y'all, man. It's been a lot of things, man. Like I've had people walk up on me with their baby, and like, y'all want you to take a picture with me and my kids. So 20 years from now, I can tell them who you are. Like that shit is incredible, man. Like some people came up with a picture of their brother saying their brother died in a car accident that they both was in. So I'm just fulfilling a dream of taking a picture with you, with a picture of my brother. Like it's realer than just making money, man. Like it's real how you touch people. So it's very important that we celebrate it to the fullest. And I hope we get another 50 years. Even when I'm done, super old man, I hope they still doing their thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like he said, we thank you for everything you've done for the culture. Hopefully we can get together another 3 months and see where we're at in life and what we're working on. We'll definitely reach out. Before we get out of here, can you tell everybody what you're currently working on and what we can look forward to?
Working on this eclectic album with this DJ called DJ PJ GJ. Real, like he does photography, so that's why we might do an NFT for that. He takes these real crazy pictures of these places. I don't even know how he gets there, but it's like these real exceptional places that got these ill scenes. So I want to finish that out. Shout out to him. I'm gonna be licensing some of my old albums, and then me and Monty's working on some new shit that's gonna be quite interesting. And we still gonna be doing shows. We supposed to plan something for New York, probably like in the beginning of the fall. And you know, just staying creative. And you know, people can check me on the Real Prince Poe on IG, you know, Prince Poe on Facebook, and I'm even doing like this thing called JB's Live, which we go live on, and we really just talk about everyday life, and I try to inspire people and remind them, because a lot of times people are hard on themselves and they become their worst critics. So we talk about like little nooks and crannies that people overlook, You know what I'm saying? So that's been really, really growing crazy. Like people's like, yo, I'll be looking for you to be talking. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to reach out to people, but what are you saying?
Right.
So you know, Twitter, I'm on there, Prince Poe. You can find me, all that stuff, like I said. And I just tap in with people. I done did a couple of private consultants with people. And I just tell them, like, you're trying to do more, you're trying to do more than your best. And that's a dangerous area to be in. You feel what I'm saying? Because there is no such thing as past your best.
Right.
So I try to slow people down and let them recalibrate the process, because, you know, we all geniuses, and the word genius derives from the word gene, and we all have a gene. So it's like we all are geniuses.
No doubt.
I just happen to people like that, man. I just try to make them, remind them, like, yo, don't be so hard on yourself. It didn't get done today. It'll get done tomorrow.
Exactly. Thank you so much for your thoughtful insight, man. We appreciate you more than you know. This has been Changing of the Hip Hop Guards podcast. I'm the Drone Sincere. That's my partner, Uncle E, and that is the legendary Prince Poe. Thank you so much, Prince.
Sincere, Uncle E. I appreciate y'all, man.
Peace, man. Appreciate you, man.
Enjoy your week.
Y'all continue doing your thing, man. Keep these platforms going.
All right. Appreciate you.
Yes,
See you again soon.
All right.